Hey everybody, so today I'm going to show you a very interesting modification you can do to your car to lower your air intake temperatures. So this is not a vehicle specific modification, but I'll be doing this on my 2011 Genesis Coupe 2-liter turbo. So if you'll notice your throttle body, which is right here, you'll see two lines going into it, this one right here and then the one right below it. Those are actually coolant lines that go to your radiator. And for this car, the normal operating temperature is around 180 degrees for the radiator fluid. So basically what that does, that's circulating hot radiator fluid into the throttle body. And the reason that they do that is basically for winter times. If it is freezing temperatures, the air going into the throttle body can freeze the throttle plate and kind of develop ice. And with an electric motor that opens the throttle plate, it can wear out that motor, and the ice that could develop inside could actually choke the engine, which is obviously not good. But about 9 months out of the year we don't even see freezing temperatures, so pumping more heat into the throttle body is pointless, and in fact it's hindering performance just because it's heating up the air intake temperatures just a little bit. So to do this modification you need to look at both of these hoses, the top one and the bottom one, and basically what you're going to do, instead of having the fluid go through the hose into the throttle body and then back out through the other one, you're basically just going to cut that off and just circulate it from one hose to the other directly, bypassing the throttle body completely. Alright, so to do this modification you'll just need a pair of pliers and some paper towels. You're going to lose a little bit of coolant while you do this. So first what I'm going to start with, I'm going to take this one right here and just take the little metal clamp off. And then sometimes, depending if you've ever taken these off before, you might just want to squeeze it and turn it a little just to kind of break that seal. Alright, now what you need to do, go to this lower line right here and disconnect it from the throttle body. So now this longer hose is going to circle back and get connected right to this one. So now we're just going to reapply this metal bracket. So now this side is completely hooked back together, so the fluid is just going to go in a circle. So instead of going into the throttle body, just looping itself. You just want to make sure that your tube doesn't have any kinks in it. Depending on what kind of car you have, you might have different setups, so just make sure there's no kinks. But if there's no kinks like it is now, that is perfectly safe to run. So now I'm going to hook this pipe back into the outlet right there. And you can actually just put caps on these two openings, but since for a few months out of the year I will be putting this back to stock when it's winter, I'm just going to go ahead and use it itself as a cap and just kind of loop it back. So here's a close-up of what it looks like. You can see that hose nicely looped. And then this one right here. So now you'll see the actual difference to see if there really is a difference. I'm going to use the torque app on my phone and measure the intake air temperatures compared to ambient air temperature to see the difference. And then I will also be using an infrared heat gun to see what the throttle body's actual temperature is. So with the stock configuration, you can see that the intake air temperature is staying about 22 degrees above the ambient air temperature. And I've noticed when driving like this, it stays between 20 and 25 degrees. So with the stock configuration, the top of the throttle body is about 120 degrees. And then right where the tubes connect, looking about 150 degrees. So now driving with this modification done, you can see that the air intake temperature is just about 10 or 11 degrees above ambient. So that's about a 10-degree drop. And I've noticed when driving like this, it stays about 10 to 15 degrees above ambient, whereas without it, it stays about 20 to 25. Alright, so now after the modification, so the top of the throttle body is 92 degrees, and right where the hoses go is 111. Wow. So that's a huge decrease in temperature, which obviously you just saw with the air intake temperature being lower. Alright, so there you go. That is a free modification that you can do with basically any car, and it's free to do. It takes about 5 minutes. And just want to make sure when it's winter time to reverse it and put it back to stock just to prevent any icing in the throttle body. But other than that, this is a good way to get a few extra horsepower and a little bit lower air intake temperatures. So thanks for watching, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel.